Hello, and welcome to another episode of Mama Knows Best with Becca and Carly. Today, we are going to be talking about all of the things that revolve around screen time and what we decided to do. Did we want to do screen time? Are we going to give our child an iPad or are we not? Are we somewhere in the middle? We're going to talk about all of it and how to keep a toddler entertained if you're not doing screen time.
Yeah, so I could definitely address that because Friday morning I took a trip with my parents down to Virginia, which from Long Island to Virginia, it's about 4.5, I'd say it took us. It's like more so DC area. And let me tell you, keeping a toddler entertained for a 4-hour car ride without an iPad is definitely more work. And I understand why it can be easier to give them something that will just like keep them focused the whole time. I know that kids will sit there and watch and enjoy it and not make a peep, but I just don't want that. So, to kind of backtrack before we talk about like how I made it through those 4 hours, um, we are no screen time family, which Becca, I know you are as well. And this was something that I never put thought into before, like when we were, talking about our future children. And I was never like, my kid is never getting an iPad. But as we entered like pregnancy and got closer and started to talk about like what we felt strongly about and basically making sure Justin and I were like lining up on like core things.
Yeah, that's also very important. Make sure before you have kids with somebody that you
Oh my
do
gosh,
line up
yes.
with core values about parenting because it does get difficult.
Which I will say, like, you don't have to be the exact same, but you just have to be able to communicate effectively in order to find that middle ground. Because my husband and I are definitely different. But anyhow, so my husband, Justin, he was the one who was like, I don't want to do screen time. And I was like, in my head, like, I kind of like tweaked a little bit because I was like, but that will make my life so much harder. But we looked into it a lot. And I think you can probably speak to this a little bit more because you're more of a research gal than I am. I basically am like, I saw one thing that said like it's overstimulating, and I was like, fine, we don't have to. So, do you want to go ahead quick
Yeah,
and talk about that?
sure. I mean, in the beginning, I had initially said like no screen time. Just like even before she was born, I said no screen time. And I pretty much stuck with that. But even still, there is like once or twice a month where I'll just put on a 30-minute episode of Miss Rachel and just be like, that's it. But I'm careful about what's on. So obviously Miss
Well, so
Rachel and
why did you like what do you know? Because I know nothing. I just am doing. What do you know about like screen time and like the effects?
it's
Because I
just
don't.
basically like not or it's like either too stimulating or it's just like they just zone into it and then they become reliant on it. So it just was like I didn't want her to be sucked into the TV where she's like constantly always looking for a screen for entertainment. But also at the same time, I know they play, this is just based on research. So I don't, take this as you will. They say like the dancing fruit, like when you put like a very, very little baby in front of the dancing fruit, they say that's like too overstimulating for them and it's just like not good. So
Yeah, I've seen that. Like the length of time that the same image should be on the screen
yeah.
should be like at least 4 seconds, which I know with a lot of the new kid shows, it's like
Yeah, it's like
really
too
quick. So
overstimulating or whatever. So that's why I kind of
they
wanted
wonder
to like
why
avoid it.
ADHD is more common.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's why I kind of wanted to avoid that. I just based on just like the research that I saw, I was like, yeah, well, growing up, we didn't have screen time. Like maybe every so often my mom would pop in a VHS, no commercials, very slow, little animated, Cinderella the classic. Like it
Hmm.
very not stimulating, but still entertaining. So, like, if she were to watch Screen Time, that was, like, what I had suggested because we're big movie people. We love a family movie night, so it's like the classic
Which
family
I
movie is
still,
good.
I just like, I go back to when you said in one of our episodes that you would like put Vienna in her cute little chair with a snack, and I'm just like still trying to process how to make that happen because Jules would literally be like tearing our living room
I
apart.
mean, we only started doing that, like, recently, so, like, maybe 10 or
Yeah,
11 months, but before that, it was no, there was maybe,
yeah,
like, once a blue moon, I was like, "I need to, like, go to the bathroom by myself," and so I'd put on
right.
Miss Rachel for a short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just I don't know, and I'm at this weird place right now that like she's 15 months and we've done zero. Like I'm not joking you, I've never put on 1 minute of
See,
a show for
that's
her. And
so impressive, like, I don't think people realize,
I
like,
think
that's
so
so
too
impressive.
now. And it's hard and like it's more so like at this point like principle because we've gone this far, right? And the whole purpose
Right.
was to not expose her to those things. And I think for me, I see more of a behavioral impact from a lot of it versus like the science of like what it's doing chemically to their brain. Not sure
That's
about
a
that,
good
but like
point.
the behaviors are like whether it becomes a prize to them like oh you did your homework or oh you sat down and ate your meal and didn't throw anything on the floor now you get this like I don't want to reward
Yeah.
behaviors because behaviors should just be good
Yeah, like, that's not a
for
reward
no
per
reward.
se.
Right. So I don't know. Now we're just like at the point where like again she's 15 months, so like I do want she's at the age where like I want to start showing her some of these movies or
Yeah.
shows that we watched when we were younger, but I don't even know how to introduce it to her because like I've never been like, here, look at this. If anything, I've deterred her from looking at it. So
Right.
now she doesn't want to look at it.
I mean, I'm sure, like, once she that's the thing too, like, you can't, like, a billion% avoid screen time as they get older because now they're maybe not in your house. Maybe they went to a friend's house and that they watch a movie. So it's like, I'm sure she'll start to see it. I mean, even in schools now,
Yeah.
they use screens. I think you said this to me that
Yeah. The
all the kids get like a
Chromebooks.
Chromebook. Yeah. And so that's like, I know I can't like avoid it per se, but I
Right.
really wanna limit it and also monitor it. So, like,
Yeah.
I saw this study about like, 2 days ago, this study about cocomelon. Like, I heard that, like, from the study that it was actually not good for kids, and that's where I'll leave it, like, do your own research, but it's so crazy because you think, like, that's a safe kids show, like, it's, like, maybe good. Same with, like, all of the little shows that they have for kids. It's just really crazy. There's
Yeah.
nothing I don't know, like, it's a toss-up, I guess.
Yeah, and I want to make it very clear as Becca and I talk about this, we're just two moms who have decided this is the route for us to go. And like I in no way, shape, or form would fault any parent for allowing their child. Like I don't want you to think because we see it differently that
Right,
you're doing something wrong. So like if you're a mom and you're like, "Oh my God, no way. Like I need to throw that on for my kids." Like power to you. I don't care. I'm talking
right.
in reference to literally my child.
Right. Like, I'm a
Um,
stay-at-home mom, it's very easy for me to say, like, "Yeah, my kid's not doing screen time," because I'm literally sitting here with her the whole time, and it's not like I have a job to report to, so, of course, it's easy for me to say that. So, obviously, not
right.
everyone's situation is the same, so we're not shaming, we're literally talking specifically from our own perspective and experience, so I'm just
Yeah.
stating
So,
what I saw and why it made me think that way, so,
no, and there's a
obviously
lot out there. And
yeah,
I mean, listen, there's research at our fingertips on everything. There's opinions, there's this, there's that. There's people who would argue that Miss Rachel is educational and beneficial. And while it is, it doesn't mean that I still want my child looking
Right,
at a
it
screen.
doesn't
Like, I
mean that
do
it's great to
agree.
put on for hours and on end and, like,
Right.
it's
I
out of
think that
no
it does
fault.
help with language. I think it does teach them. She's so expressionate and her emotions. Like, I've seen obviously videos and stuff of it. So, like, I understand what she's doing. And she is, I'm pretty sure, a speech pathologist who had a child with special language impairment. And she
Yes.
wanted there to be a show that she felt comfortable showing her child, something
Right.
along those lines.
Right, she, like, was teaching her
Anyhow,
kid a certain way, and from that, she was like, "Wow, this really worked. Let me make, like, a
right.
little show," and worked.
Right, which honestly, like if I had that idea, please let that come to me in my sleep because she's making so much money. That I she's got like toys out everywhere. It's just so crazy. But I
It's
want to
insane.
talk about this weekend because there's a few things I want to mention. Number 1, the car ride was impossible. But it was done. It was done with endless songs that we sung. I had to switch with my mom at one point because like I could not sing another nursery rhyme. I felt like my head was going to explode. The amount of toys and books and things we had to pack was definitely more than just a single iPad.
Yeah, it's definitely a
You
lot
couldn't
of work.
listen to your music. Like it was just like one-to-one entertainment the entire time. And I don't mind, but it is way more difficult sometimes. But then it's funny because so Friday night, we only stayed there one night. Friday night, she just to like add into this story, we didn't have a crib there. My nephew is out of his crib now. There's two of them, Carolyn and Brian, and so they had a sleepover and I slept in Brian's room with Jules. He's got a full bed, I think it was, but like on the floor, which was so nice. But I was like, let's try the pack and play. Like she's a crib girl, she's been in her crib literally since she was born. The pack and play did not work. I was up the entire night while she slept, but like interrupted.
Yeah.
I just felt every move. I heard every sound, like no bueno. So then in the morning, I texted my mom around like 7 and I was like, can you please come up and get her? Like, I just want to stay in bed for an extra 30 minutes. And that's like their routine with the kids there. My brother and my sister in law kind of hang upstairs and my parents take the kids downstairs.
That's really
So
nice.
it's so nice. And like, it's just like we all need that break. And especially first thing in the morning, like, I was literally sitting there looking at my phone. I was like, I don't know the last time I've done this. So my mom sent a picture in our family group chat of all of the kids on the couch. And it was such a cute picture. But all I did was zoom in on the picture frame that was behind them to see that Bluey was in the reflection. And I literally texted her on the side immediately. And I was like, you better not have her sitting in front of a TV. And like,
But
the
she
kids, like,
knows, like, she knows you don't do screen time.
she knows that we don't do scream time. Not sure she agrees with it, but also I know she wasn't like being deceitful or trying to be like, "Oh, mommy's not here.
Oh, yeah,
Let
she
me
just
put
probably
you in
wanted a
bed."
cute picture of all the kids on the couch, and the other kids
Right,
were
and like
entertained.
my niece. This was the first time she really got to like hang out with Juliana. So like Caroline wanted to hold her. So like that's what was happening in the picture, and it was adorable. But I just like my brain immediately went there. And also my husband who wasn't with us, I was like, "Oh, I know for a fact he's also seeing what I'm seeing," which surprisingly he didn't. Um but yeah, I texted her and she was like, "I don't know what to do. Like this is the kids' morning routine. Like they come downstairs and they're allowed to watch TV." So now I felt like I was stuck between a rock and a hard place because I was like, okay, I can have my mom take Jules away from her cousins and like move to like a separate room or like turn her away from the TV, which is like rather difficult.
Yeah.
Or like she has to turn the TV off and like they like
entertain
that,
all of the kids.
which is also unfair to Caroline and Brian because like that's they're watching TV like they should be. That's what they do. They're of age where like the damage that could be done to them is much different than like a 1 year old. Um, and like again, it's more principle. Like if she's gonna watch TV, it's gonna be with me, you know.
Yeah.
So my mom like ended up moving her to the table where her like the chair that goes onto the table was to like do breakfast and had her back to the TV. But then the kids came to the table, they turned the TV, and eventually I heard my mom from upstairs like explaining to them that like the TV is really bad for Juliana and like asking them to turn it off, and they did, which was really nice. But that's where I feel like it gets hard because like
Yeah.
we're in a place in a setting, and like if we're having like a mom hangout and there's a child who's on their iPad and like Jules is sitting there watching it or Vienna's sitting there watching it, it's like nobody's doing anything wrong, but it does like hurt my soul a little that I've worked
I
so
know.
hard to prevent it.
Yeah. I mean,
And then there's like
I feel that because it's like, do you want to, like, you work so hard for that, but do you want to also kind of like have her miss out on things? Like,
right,
slight little
right,
example, like, I don't really let Vienna eat like processed foods. But if we were at, a birthday party or something and there was like a cake and the other kids were having it, like, I'm not going to be like, no, you can't have that. Like, I'll just let her for that one time. Like, I guess, like, it's not going to kill her. But, that's just me. That's just me.
I don't know what I would do.
I
Like
know. I
so
know.
I remember actually very vividly. I was bartending and I was talking to a couple that was there, and their daughter was there with them. I think she was like 1.5 or 2 years old. And she was just such a chill baby. Like she was so great. And we started talking, and they said that they saw a huge change in her because they do not allow sugar, they do not allow food dyes, like they are very strict. They're like, we go to birthday parties and like we don't, if there's icing like colored icing on the cupcake, like she's not having it. Like they're just, they feel very
Wow.
strongly about that. And so they were like, we literally went to a party last week and we gave in, we let her have the cupcake because like all the other kids were, and we felt bad. And they were like, her behavior for the following 24 to 48 hours was so bad. And like
Yeah.
that's from
Mm.
what are you thinking?
Like, that's the thing. I've noticed that with screen time too. It's just like when I give in, like, her behavior is like horrific.
Right. Right. So it's like, so if we feel this way, like why are we giving
I
in?
know.
And I
Ugh,
understand there's so many people who are going to be like, that's not fair to the kid. But like,
right.
no, it 100% is fair because obviously their body is responding to the sugar or to the
I
overstimulation. Like,
know.
there's
It's like we're
something.
supposed to be their, like, advocate and, like, want, like, do the best for them, but then at the same time, it's like, "Oh, what do you mean? They can't have sugar, they
Right.
can't have screen time," like,
Right.
so it's like, you're mom shamed either way, first of all, which there's no mom shaming
Exactly.
happening here, but
Right.
in normal ways, like, in life, you're gonna be judged either way. So, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't want my I think of Daddy Daycare, that scene where they bring the kid, the one girl, she gets dropped off and she's like, "No red dye 40, no yellow dye number 4, no this, no that." And I'm like, "That's me." But, like, is that gonna they basically in the
Can you
movie
be me?
portray her as the weird kid. Like, am I gonna have the weird kid because I am trying to do the best I can? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the good thing for us right now is like there's so much light being shed on it.
Yes,
So,
yes.
um like maybe we're in a place where it won't be as bad, like even like school lunches and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But no, I agree, and it's just no matter what, it's hard. No matter what. Um and it's really, I think, for me, it's almost become a little bit empowering to have stood my ground
That
and
definitely is very impressive. That's a long
to
time.
not. It is a long time. And I mean, every single person who comes over, who we are close with, who are supportive of us, aren't with that. They're like, just let her watch TV or
Right, but
like all this stuff. So I just want to say that, like, I guess if you're thinking, if you're pregnant and you don't want your child to watch screens, or you are at that point where like you're wanting to make that decision, just make it and stand
it's
by it,
possible,
because
right?
it is. I'm telling you, it is. And I'm someone who, like, I mean, Justin and I love watching TV. For the first year of Juliana's life, our living room TV was not turned on. Like, I've shared that before, and I'll say it again. Like, it forces you to make changes, but also, like, maybe those changes aren't so bad,
Right, they're good
you
for all of
know?
us. Like, why
Right.
are we
Even
gonna
like,
eat red dye 40, yellow 4, all this stuff, also watch screen time, be reliant on our phones, like, and then tell our kids to do different? Like,
right. Like, and as you say it out loud, you're like, oh, okay. Like, that does make sense. Like,
right,
obviously, we don't want that, and we're just doing our best.
right. You're right. It
So,
creates a good influence for the whole family, actually.
yeah, it's like, even I saw, I mean, this is like unrelated but related, like children watching their parents exercise, right? You're promoting and you're educating them from such a young age that like exercise is good, not obviously being like you, like calorie
Right,
counting and
right,
all,
but, like,
like, but
exercise,
showing your
self-care,
child,
cleaning the house, like, loving your spouse, they watch that stuff so close. So it
yes,
really does force you,
yes.
having a kid forces you to, like, be a better you regardless because they're watching.
And it's, yeah. And even like, I know for us with our cell phones, which is a screen, like, I cannot. And this now at 14, 15 months versus like obviously when she was like younger, like she wants my phone.
Yeah,
So I can't be on my phone, and it's nice.
it is
Like, do
nice.
I,
At first, it's
for
hard.
us it's hard because when you're trying to like build a business and launch a podcast and do all these
And
things
keep in
that
touch
are,
with your family because you forget to send everyone pictures, like, yes.
yes, or literally answering no one's text. Like,
Yep,
I read a text because I'm so quickly looking at it, but then she comes to grab my phone, so I put it down or I like hide it somewhere she can't see it. So like, it definitely detaches you a little bit in good ways and in bad.
right.
So it's just like, I feel like there's just, I don't know, it's just one of those decisions that you have to make, that you have to stand by, and I mean, no matter what, it's hard.
It is,
So
yeah. I wish I was better at it, but I feel like I'm definitely, like, somewhere in the middle, and I feel like that with a lot of things. Like, I'm kind of, like, not super, anti screen time, but I'm also not like just like load them up. Like I saw this I guess it was a reel and it was like the restaurant hates to see my non-iPad kid coming. And it's so true because like kids who are used to like having an iPad, they can learn. And I know there's educational content on iPad, so they'll sit there, they'll be quiet, they're respectful at the table in the restaurant. Like my kid is like, I need all the straw wrappers. I need all the packets of salt. Like, give me a
the
cup, a
milk
spoon, a,
towers.
a bowl of water. Like, she's going to make a mess. I mean, of course, I'll clean it up, but it's not as easy to entertain a baby at a
I
restaurant.
actually, I just saw a reel last night, and actually, maybe Justin sent it to me. And it was this dad holding his daughter who was like squirming all over around his neck, on his shoulders, and it was like just trying to survive to like enjoy dinner at a restaurant, like with my non-screen time baby.
Right.
And like, that is the reality of it.
Right.
Like, and yeah, restaurant owners are probably like, please, like, give this kid
Right. Get you
something.
like, they used to do like coloring books, or like coloring
Mhm.
pages at a restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I want to teach Juliana how to be bored.
it
Like,
creates a more creative mind. That's
yeah,
a real study, they say. But being bored
yeah.
creates a more creative mind, and like also this is such a controversial topic. I know this, but on the same path, I don't like electronic toys in my house. She has a piano, but it doesn't make no, it plays piano. It doesn't like make a
Which, from what I've seen, you've been playing it more
I've
than
been
she
I yes, I
has.
am now a pianist. Thank you. I can play Wheels on the Bus and Hop Little Bunnies. So, yeah, you'll see me at Carnegie Hall next week. But I just don't like electronic toys. So if a toy just like it's not even an electronic piano, like it won't like play an automated music, like it plays the piano. I'll take that. I like my xylophone. It's not electronic. I don't like the electronic toys because then it's like she pushes a button and the thing's talking to her and it's singing to her and it's entertaining her. Like it doesn't really give her the chance to like figure it out herself. Like I like the blocks, the stackable things, like the boring toys, the sad beige mom toys that people are like, "Oh, that's no fun." Like, sorry.
But it is
It's
also,
more fun,
that's no
actually.
fun, but like to who? Because
Right.
my daughter will literally have fun opening and closing up the refrigerator. So, like,
100%.
who is it no fun
Right.
to?
Like
Because
I
she's having
got
a grand old time.
right, she has the best time. Like it's like buying all the toys for a cat and they want to sit in the cardboard box. It's the same thing. You I have a sensory table, like she splashes water around, mixes stuff in the water, like just smashes the water around. That's more like she has more fun with that than she does like when she does happen to snatch my phone and she'll like touch buttons. Like
Mhm.
she doesn't know what she's doing. So playing with the water, the
Right.
sensory table. So people get so irritated at me like I don't want electronic toys. And if someone has bought me an electronic toy, I've probably returned it or donated it because it just doesn't do anything in my house. Like it'll drive me nuts. The only electronic toy I have is the Miss Rachel doll because it says, "Hi, hello," and Vienna just loves it. And no matter how many times she's
You're
only
like,
seen Miss Rachel a
yeah,
handful of times, she loves that doll. Loves it.
that's hysterical.
Yep.
Well, so are there people that know that you don't want electronic toys, or is that
Everybody.
the
I
electronic?
make it very well known. But I have still received electronic toys and I have two of them still that I couldn't get rid of because it was just like I just couldn't get rid of them. But they're in a honestly, they're in the back of a drawer. I just don't need it. Like she
Yeah, I
doesn't need it either.
understand.
And I know that's so stupid, but it's like
It's not.
they're
Hold
bright
on. Look what
colors.
you're doing. Look at what you are
Uh,
doing. It's not stupid. It's just what you want
you're
and how
right.
you want to raise your child. And, like,
You're right.
that's okay.
You know what? You're right. You're right. It's just
You're like putting yourself down for what you feel.
I just don't want people to think
Who
right.
cares?
And that's exactly that. We'll stop it there because that's true. But I love the toys because it just creates so much more entertainment for her because it takes her more time to figure out that the circle block goes in the circle hole than it does for her to like learn how to touch the screen on the phone. Like and that's just me personally
Yeah.
or to press a button and then it plays music for her and she's entertained for the next 90 seconds while it plays a song or it talks to her in this super high like baby voice. That's the other thing. I don't baby talk her at all.
They say to talk to your kids like they're like young adults.
My mom did that for me. And up until middle school, the number 20, I said 20, 20, $20. And people would make fun of me because I enunciated so well that I would actually get like made fun of. All because my mom did not baby talk to me and she never let me watch Teletubbies. I know that I like who cares? Like it's Teletubbies, but my mom was just like so ahead of her time with that. Just
Yeah.
refused. So I literally my first word was like cat. Like I was just like the little like I was I don't know, I
Yeah,
enunciated
I
very
believe
well. And so I'm like, let me do that for Vienna. Let me try to do that. But I'm not the only one who talks to her. So
Yikes. What was I just gonna say? We were talking. Oh, so on the topic of toys and like no electronics, we definitely have so many electronics. That was never something that I like even ever thought about,
right.
but it 1000% makes sense. And like I do steer to keep them all off, to be quite honest, because they drive me
And
crazy.
that's half the
But
battle, like, I don't want them to drive me crazy. I already hear things in my sleep, like, I don't need to hear that
right.
one toy again, you know?
Right. So that being said, we have two things that I've realized bring me so much enjoyment watching Juliana play with. So the first is do you have the suction spinners?
Yes,
Okay, first, so versatile. You
love
can
those.
literally put them on the high chair, put them on the window, put them in the bathtub, like whatever. But my point is I've watched them evolve with her in the sense that like they were really just something to look at until she got to the point of like figuring out her hands. And now she actually will bring it to the back door, stick it on herself. She started doing it. She'll spin it and then she'll turn and she'll look at me and clap. Like she's so
She
proud
did
of
it.
herself
Right, and, like,
that
that
like
took months to figure out,
right.
but
And it also
she
took
worked
her
at it.
mirroring what we did. Like she saw us putting it on and like that's such a cool skill. And like no battery, no animation, nothing could be better than that look we get when she just succeeded at like simply entertaining herself and figuring it out.
Right.
Number 1.
I love that.
Number 2, she same thing, we have a lot of um like fruit shapes, things that like velcro stick together or
Yes.
come apart.
Yep.
And obviously bilateral hand coordination is something that they don't have at a young age. And being an OT, that's something I'm like always like with her. I'm like trying to get her to like figure out how to use her hands together. And last week she started like pulling apart the fruit, but then she would like figure out how to like readjust it to make sure that it would velcro themselves back together. And I'm like, and that kept her entertained for so long.
Right. And we have,
Like,
on a similar note that you just
oh,
mentioned,
go ahead.
we have this little plastic paint palette, and all of the paints are like these silicone poppers. And we've had that since we got it at our shower. Okay. So we've had this for a long time, and she just loved looking at it. And then she just loved banging on it. And then she just loved chewing it. And now she like more, and then she started to learn how to pop them, and now she pops them, flips it over, pops them again in order.
Yeah.
Like that took almost a year for her to like get that whole skill set, but like that toy is now nobody's sick of it because it doesn't make the same sound over and over again. In fact, she's learned more and more about that toy and now she loves it even more and has
Right.
those
Like it,
skills. It's not just like I pressed a
yeah.
button and now I have music. It's I took a year to learn these skills. This like learned with me.
It's funny you say that because which I'm sure you do too, to like keep declutter from
Mm,
occurring, is like I'll take a lot of the things that I feel like she's grown out of, clothes, obviously, but toys, and I'll put them aside.
yeah.
But I saw a video recently. Did you guys have the tissue box?
No, but I do like that.
Okay, so oh my goodness, Juliana loved the tissue box. That's actually how I taught her how to like if a blanket was ever over on her if a blanket was ever on her face, like how
How
to
to pull it
remove it
off, right?
from like newborn. But I put that away because I was like, I mean, how many times is this girl gonna want to pull the
Tissues
whatever
out of
or
the
like put it
box.
right? Like she was kind of over it. But I saw something recently that like there's a milestone with that toy of I don't know if it was like them putting it back in themselves or like something for 15 to 18 months. And I was like,
Yeah,
I have
see,
to
you
take
have
that
to
toy back
complete
out.
the whole toy cycle. So you have to look at the toy and be
Right.
like, as an adult, what can I do to this toy? And then don't put
Right.
it away until all of those things have been completed.
Or like just make it more functional as she grows up. Like, okay, Jules, let's only put the pink ones in the tissue
Right.
box. Like
That's the
that
thing
right
about
there.
those toys. They don't really go bad. Like they're good
Right.
for so long. So it's like almost like
Yeah.
you're getting more bang for your buck if you
Yeah.
just get the
Yeah.
non-electronic toys.
Especially because that was a hand me down. So it was
Right.
really a
See,
good
that's
bang for our buck.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like you're so right about like the electronics. Like there isn't a need for really anything. We all know, like we've seen the videos of the water bottles, of the, wooden spoons of them playing with
Right.
like they're so happy with anything that you give them.
Right, and that's
So,
why I feel like it goes hand in hand with the screen time conversation
right.
because it's like electronics, like, just learn to be, like, functional, like, first, you don't need
Yeah.
electronics right now, for me personally, like, you just need to learn how to use your hands and, like, learn how to put
Yeah.
the circle in the circle and learn how to open the pages of the Crinkle book, it's like
And I'm sure like that feeling of like Banner or Juliana like looking back at us to be like, look, mommy, I did it. Like that's doing something to just like allow them to flourish, right? Like inside as they accomplish these things, like it's really just like a stepping stone to like growing up
yeah,
in a
because you
way
let them
that I
struggle a little
feel
bit, like, yeah, you're gonna be a little mad, you're a little bored, you want my phone, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle, but look at what's
right.
coming out of it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess guys, normally Becca and I are like different and we have different things
This
to
is pretty
share,
lined
but
up.
today,
So
yeah,
yeah, we
today
need
we're
to
like,
hear from someone who's like full on like at the baby shower got an iPad and was like, "Here we go." Seriously, like
yeah.
I do want to hear that. Like I want to
But
know.
also come back to me when I have my second kid and ask me.
Oh right, absolutely.
Ask me what I do
There'll be a
then.
TV on in every room. Everyone's got iPads.
Right, right. Like this is like first
You got a
child,
car iPad,
first
a
time
kitchen
mom.
iPad.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. So,
It's so
all
true. Like
right.
first
Well,
time moms, like if you have one kid, you really can't say
yeah.
anything.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, that's funny because I know like maybe there'll be things that are different.
So
Although I would
different.
hope not, but the reality is like your siblings watching TV, I'm not gonna be like, don't go. No different than the cousins, right? Like
So true.
it's just,
Yeah, you'll just learn
I
to
don't
be a
know.
little more
Or you'll just not care as much.
right. Right. I mean, I don't know. They say the same thing about pregnancy. They're like, well, wait till the baby's here and then we'll see, if your rules stay the
Yeah.
same. My rules stayed the same.
Yeah, I think mine did as well.
Good.
Hmm.
Good for us.
Well done.
Well done. We
Claps.
made that. Oh my gosh. Well, this was perfect.
Amazing. Yeah, but seriously, guys, I mean, I also am like, you probably accomplish so much when your kids are watching. So, like, whether you are screen time versus no screen time, or red dye 40 versus no red dye 40, or electronic
VTech
pillows
toys
or not.
versus the sad
Yeah,
beige
just like,
wooden stackable rings.
yeah, yeah. Share it all. Come at us if you want. Tell us if maybe we're doing something wrong, although please
Absolutely.
don't
Yeah,
actually.
don't do that. Just tell us what you're
Yes.
doing and then
Yes.
we can both silently think that each other is doing something wrong,
Agreed.
but
Yeah.
we'll never say it cuz as long as you're
Yeah.
surviving, you're doing a great job.
And providing love.
Right.
That's it.
Yep.
Like,
Baby's
that's all they
fed,
need.
clothed, loved, then you're doing fantastic.
That
You did a great job that day. You can sleep well.
amazing.
You did it. You
Yes.
made it through another day.
Yes, amazing. Well, thank you guys for listening. Continue to share, continue to listen, and please let us know what topics you want to hear from us. We are excited to continue on this journey with you guys.
Yay, thanks for listening.
We'll see you later. Bye.